Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're back at it once again with HogTok. Recently, I actually had a video in which I did, cover a bunch of hog TikToks, like TikToks from a lot of people on the right. Basically, this was following after the whole Donald Trump charges. That was before this Georgia indictment where a lot of people are getting involved. Even though it's not from the same person, I do still have another thread from Chuds of TikTok, who's a really good Twitter user if you want to follow, left-wing people on TikTok. This is a great user to follow, Chuds on TikTok. But we have this Twitter thread, and we're going to be watching through it.
Hey y'all.
Hi y'all.
So, as of August 15th, and for all you Democrats that didn't know, right now, today it's August 15th. Tomorrow, it'll be August 16th when it hits 12. Figured y'all probably didn't know that. But anyway,
Since y'all are a bunch of dumb Democrats, you probably don't know how time works.
Biden is still the worst president
Okay.
in the history of the U.S. And guess what else? You ready? I'm an intuitive empath.
Wait, what? You kind of mumbled through that.
I'm an intuitive empath.
Oh, she's an intuitive empath. Oh no. No, this is what you get when you mix MAGA with like a, white basic girl from the suburbs. Like you get that, I'm an empath, I have crystals, I know how you're feeling. Like I really understand emotions and also just like, but I also like just hate Mexicans and I just love Donald Trump. Just shit like that.
My intuition is never wrong.
Yeah, as we know, if you're an empath and you have crystals and you read your horoscope, you're always right. You don't come off as like a very social, inept person. You come off very like sane, especially when you combine it with, right-leaning policies.
So guess what? Trump is going to be a free man. He's gonna walk.
And that's how you know he's going to jail. That's how you know right there. If someone comes up to you and says that they're an empath, you know right at that second anything that comes out of their mind is gonna be full of shit. It's gonna be the exact opposite, and they're just gonna be like, I guess my intuition was just off that day. Something with the moon and the stars.
Guess what else? The entire Democratic Party, the ones that y'all support, that trash.
Yeah.
They're gonna all go down. So you know what? Buckle up, because it's going to be a wild ride for every single one of you. Have a good night.
Here's the thing. I don't give a fuck about the Democratic Party. I don't like Biden. He's not the worst president, but he's not like a great one either. He's a pretty like mid president, honestly. He's a mid. He's mid. But like, I don't give a fuck about the Democratic Party at all. Like, throw away Nancy Pelosi, any of those like left-leaning shitheads that just let like the Republican Party do whatever they want and just like stand around and do nothing. Like, I like AOC and that's about it when it comes to like the modern day Republican Party. At least the active members who are actively in like politics and like policy. I like Bernie Sanders too, don't get me wrong, but like he hasn't had a good track record when it comes to wins, major big wins. But he's still cool. Even though I'm a little disappointed he's not running again. Apparently.
Videos.
And oh my god, you gotta love this. You gotta love the black and white in the truck TikToks.
So I've got a lot of people that get on my videos and they post that they're true patriots. They're ready to fight.
Oh no, it's the hog civil war. It's happening right in front of us.
For their country.
But which one's gonna be the Confederacy? They both like the Confederacy. Are we gonna have like is it gonna be like the South Confederacy and the North Confederacy?
The fact that they're not gonna bow down. And the fact that they've got my back. So here's the question.
Okay, I'm sorry. I can't get over the fact of how fucking large his gap is between his mustache. It feels so off. Like, dude, get one of those eyebrow pencilers, like one of those. Maybe trim up your beard a little bit. Put some, put that pencil in between. Like, work on that gap, man. Like, You know, and like there's a gap with like a lot of people with mustaches, but that is big and noticeable. It's like he shaved it himself.
When are you gonna stop commenting that on my videos and message me so that I can get you involved in order for you to do that?
Why don't you just message them? I don't want you to join them. They're gonna make like another Patriots front where you all wear khaki shorts and walk around with trash can shields. But at the same time, like, dude, just message them.
When are you gonna live up to those words?
When are you gonna join my militia?
Because here soon.
When are you gonna join my militia so we can all pretend to be army guys?
I'm gonna need a lot of you. I'm gonna need all of you.
Yeah. This guy's definitely on our watch list or something.
Comments are great, but actions mean more than anything.
Actions speak louder than words, brothers. Oh no. No, dude. Oh no, we got a Tim Pool fan.
2024 election is canceled in the United States, according to Roseanne Barr on the Tim Pool podcast.
Let's restart that. What did he say?
2024 election is canceled in the United States, according to Roseanne Barr on the Tim Pool podcast. They've indicted.
How can you look yourself in the mirror after saying you just got done listening to the Roseanne Barr and Tim Pool podcast and be like, yeah, I really learned something from that? Like, Jesus Christ. Dude, are you taking political advice from Roseanne Barr and Tim Pool? Oh no. No.
Donald Trump for everything shy of the extinction of the dinosaurs, and it's still not working. So the only option that they have left is to enact war. Now, the United States has...
I don't know how he could get this idea of, like, you know, Trump's always right and good when Tim Pool is, like, isn't he, like, more liberal than a lot of people he knows? At least that's what he claims. He has claimed before that he is, like, oh, I'm more liberal than more people than I know, which probably isn't a lot of people, let's be honest. But, like, never get your advice from Tim Pool. Like, I'm surprised the word Civil War already hasn't come out of his mouth at least once. Be like, we're heading towards a Civil War. We're heading towards a Civil War. Because that's all he fucking does. Like, anytime there's, like, something, like, there's another indictment against Trump, or there's something, like, big where, like, when a Republican actually has to deal with the consequences of their actions, he's always like, a Civil War is coming. A Civil War is coming. It's just, like, he's so unserious.
As the industrial military complex, the most sophisticated war machine ever funded and propagated against humanity. And this is the next step, and really the last thing they have to use to keep Donald Trump, RFK Jr., DeSantis, or really anybody else that they can't control out of office. The only real question is, if this happens, when this happens, will Americans finally rise up? Will they finally take action, or will they just sit passively by like we all...
Dude, you cannot look this libbed up and still be spouting stuff like this. Like, dude, you look like you should be, like, coming out of, like, a Portland coffee shop with your, like, your latte and, like, after you just got done writing, like, your next big Hollywood script. Like, you cannot have, like, these earrings. He has one on the other side, but you cannot be having these earrings, having this. I'm pretty sure this is a dye job. I'm gonna be honest. It looks very dye jobby. With, like, this swooped pretty boy hair. And be like, I just got done listening to the Tim Pool and Roseanne Barr podcast. Like, dude, you want to be right wing, start looking right wing. Like, you are libbed up. You look like a lib.
Hey, there's some things going on right now inside our government.
Of course, this guy's name is Hank. He looks like a Hank.
All little political things happening around us. 3 things that we should be very fucking frightened of. First of all, the idea of criminalizing questioning an election. Yes, questioning the integrity of an election.
It's questioning the integrity of the election when you call up like a, what was he was a senator or like a governor? It's like, I need these amount of votes. That's 1 plus the number of votes that we need to win. That's how many votes I need. That's questioning the integrity of the election, and obviously not trying to be like, hey, we kind of need these votes, so maybe you should give me these votes, but I'm not going to say you need to give me the votes, because that would obviously be illegal, even though that whole situation just, like, it's not good for him. Like, damn, there was a tweet or something where it was just like, the whole new thing with Republicans is that they'll just like simplify what is actually going on to such a degree that it becomes like very like modern. It becomes like a very modern thing that someone would do. Like with this, it's just like, oh, I guess it's illegal to call up your friends and talk about the election. I guess it's wrong to make phone calls now when it's an election going on. It's like, no, that's not illegal. It's what you talk about during those conversations. And especially when it has to do with like, hey, I need you to give me these votes.
The idea of criminalizing that should scare the fuck out of you. Yeah.
Dude, no one's coming after you. This is something, again, with like a bunch of right wingers where they're just like, they're coming after us, brother. They're coming after us. You think it's gonna be just him? No, it's gonna be you next. Like, no one's coming after you, dude. The only people who are coming after you are the people who are coming after you because of how many DUIs you have, because of how much domestic violence you protrude. Like, the amount of domestic violence that you enact on your wife. That's the only type of people who are coming after you. They're not coming after you because you just don't think the election was fair.
I mean, they're wanting to try to put our man in leg shackles over this shit. And, well, let's go back and think about who all has done it. Al Gore, I remember doing it.
Oh, you mean the guy who like actually had fine proof that the election was kind of stolen from him? With what was it? The Wright brothers riot? The Wilkes brothers riot, I believe. It was like when they I believe it was when like they stopped voting in Florida to see. Let me see. I believe it was the Wilkes brothers riot. Oh, the Brooks Brothers riot is what it's called. Brooks Brothers riot was a demonstration led by Republican staffers at the meeting of the election canvases in Florida on November 22, 2000, during a recount of votes made during the 2000 election with the goal of shutting down the recount. Gore has a reason to be upset about this because the recount, I believe, was in 4 counties that were heavily like Democrats. Like there were like a lot of Democrats in those counties. So to him, it didn't make sense that it was starting to like lean more towards like Bush in those areas. So he asked for a recount in those areas, which is allowed, and they should be allowed to do that. But Republicans actively got up and held a riot there because they didn't want those recounts to like be made. So like that never like really like went through. This had the effect of ensuring that the 2012 safe harbor deadline set by could not be met, guaranteeing that Bush would win the 2000 election. Like, yeah, Gore had good reasoning to like be upset at that outcome because it was like bullshit on his part. Because it was active proof that like Bush was committing something atrocious.
But he lost to Bush. Let's see, who all else? Hillary? Yeah, questioned the fuck out of the election integrity.
Yeah, for good reason. There was an entire fucking riot that stopped the recount, which is a democratic process that any presidential candidate should be allowed to do. They did that during the Trump campaign, and they weren't able to find any type of like election interference. There were independent ones that weren't like legally authorized or weren't like legitimate, that were ran by people who like had a big bias towards Trump. That like, oh yeah, we found plenty of election interference when it was really nothing. It was nothing.
Up some shit, but we won't go into that. Well, then there's right here in the state of Georgia, Stacey Abrams. Yeah. Her foul ass. Well, there's other things too. Any government that does not want you to bear arms, that should really scare the fuck out of you. Especially when
Oh yeah, Australia is such a terrifying country.
they want to arm the IRS.
Like, yeah, how dare they come after me when I don't want to pay taxes? That should be illegal. I should be able to not pay taxes all I want. I've seen this guy.
I'm no longer keeping it clean. So, excuse my language, okay? But what's going on with President Trump is a bunch of bullshit. And I got one thing to say. Fuck these Democrats. Fuck them all. Yeah, I said it. Fuck every single last one of them. Because this shit that they are doing is absolutely insane. It is disgraceful. Our founding fathers are rolling over in their graves right now. Another indictment. Another indictment.
They might be. They might be rolling over in the graves, but it's for a plethora of different reasons. Oh, what do you mean women have the right to vote? What do you mean that non-white people can vote? What do you mean that slavery isn't a thing anymore? That's what they're rolling in their graves over for. They're not mad at this. They're mad at a lot of stuff, right? Oh shit.
For what? For what? What did he do? The only thing he ever did was say he was going to make this country great again.
Yeah, he only said that. He only said those words and no other words. He had the best words.
I did everything right and they indicted me.
The only thing he ever did was expose these criminals for who they really are. And if they didn't steal the 2020 election, then they sure are acting guilty right now. If they didn't steal a damn thing, why are they acting like this?
It's what? What are you saying, man? Oh, it's not any way connected. Oh, they didn't steal anything, then why are they prosecuting him for saying that the election was stolen? What? What does that have to do with that? What? How does that make sense in your head? Honestly.
Because the way they are behaving is how guilty people behave when they have been caught.
Yeah, you're guilty when you go after a man who definitely deserves to be in jail, who definitely did illegal things. That's how you know that you're guilty of something. What?
It's bullshit. And President Trump don't deserve it. You know who deserves this kind of treatment? Hillary Clinton. Oh, and I can go down the damn list.
Yeah,
but I'm
that's
sick
fine.
of it. Leave President Trump alone.
Again, do they honestly think that there's gonna be a plethora of Democrats being oh no, don't impeach? Nobody gives a fuck. Yeah, there definitely are people who are oh, they like Hillary, they ride for Biden, but personally, no. I don't. There's plenty of people that I know who don't. Yeah, they did some bad stuff, but we'd rather have them over this guy, who is such obviously a criminal.
And I'm telling you right now,
he's so much of a criminal that there are so many George Bush and Ronald Reagan, and even Democrat presidents like Obama and Clinton have done a plethora of illegal stuff that they never faced legal action over. Obama with the drone strikes, Bush with invading Iraq and lying about them having nuclear weapons. They should have been on trial. They should have gone to jail. Throw away the key, all that. But they didn't, because they were able to make themselves out to be very competent people who didn't have to lie. They weren't such obvious liars. They were able to lie themselves out of that. But Trump is such an obvious criminal that you can't do that with him. He's such an obvious criminal that obviously he's gonna face he's obviously gonna face repercussions from this. Like, he's so obvious. And even then, like, it was still surprising when they, like, raided him and all the indictments came in. Because it's like, well, we never had this done with a president before. But, like, if it was going to happen with anyone, of course it would be Trump.
Now, we do not, please listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. We don't give a shit.
We don't give a shit if you indict him, but please don't indict him. Please don't indict my president.
Okay, so right now you basically have two choices. Either you are going to choose a side that is accused of conspiracy theory and not accepting the election, even though we know the left did it for 4 years. He was a Russian spy. There's all the videos out there saying illegitimate president, everything. Anything happened to him? No, because people on the right believe that they have the right to believe whatever they want and to investigate it as much as they want until some.
Oh yeah, we obviously the right were completely okay when they were calling him like a Russian spy. They obviously didn't lose. They definitely didn't lose their shit and be like, it's all a hoax that they're using to like blackmail. Like, no, dude. Like,
actual proof comes, but
this is revisionist history at its finest.
That the system, and you're on the side of Trump, that the system is breaking down, that they're going to start they're indicting and arresting the presidential candidate. Never happened in U.S. history before for all the people that think that civil war can't happen again or a revolution. This has never happened before. As well as lawyers that worked along with him, following everything that was according to the law, questioning the election, asking for audits, asking for election integrity. Those people are now being indicted and will be criminally charged. Well, if everything goes through. And then what?
Yeah, because they all played a part in it. They all played some sort of part in it, and it wasn't just they were asking for integrity with the election. They were trying to interfere with it. They were trying to get things in motion that they could undermine the election.
What happens after that? Who else? You don't think they're going to come for any of the influencers, any of the popular people?
Oh no, they're going to come for the influencers, guys. They probably will come for they should probably come for what was it, Libs of TikTok, like Chaya Raichik or whatever the fuck her name is. But that was because she was at January 6th. Like, I'm surprised they didn't go after her. But they don't give a fuck about you influencers. They don't, unless you guys are trying to spark a riot. Unless you're advocating for violence, which most of them are. They're literally saying we should have a civil war. Tim Pool has tweeted out multiple times, civil war is coming. This is gonna be the start of a civil war. It's just that he's not saying I want to lead a civil war. That's the only thing. A lot of people on the right do try to incite violence. There was that whole, again, back to Tim Pool, there was a guy with a little swastika on his chest who was a fan of Tim Pool's podcast. And when it came to the videos that he liked the most, it was usually the ones in which Tim Pool brought on white supremacists and Nazis. Again, it's just a whole mentality of being oh, they're coming after us. They're you think it's gonna stop at Trump and all these higher ups? No, they're coming for you too. No, they don't. They don't give a fuck about you.
You dirty little demons. Let's cut the shit, shall we? We know what you did with the Titanic. We know what you did to JFK. We know what you did to the Twin Towers. We know why you locked us all down. We know what you like to do to little children. We know why you fabricate.
Oh no.
We know what you do with the alphabet agencies.
With the alphabet. Oh, okay. She's talking about FBI. I thought that she was doing the whole alphabet mafia thing, with people being the LGBT. I was I don't know. For someone with this many piercings, I do would expect someone to be against authority. But, I think you're against the wrong authority. Well, sometimes, you obviously don't like the FBI and CIA. Which, a lot of people don't. Neither do I. But, I don't know, for someone with this many piercings, actually, no, I'm not. Because, there's a lot of motorcycle guys who have a lot of piercings and also believe in a lot of, a right-wing concept. But she actually thinks the Titanic was, an inside job? She thinks the Titanic was the inside job. Also, we know what you like to do with little children. So, I guess she's talking about, left, Democrats. Which, I mean, at the same time, we know what her side likes to do with little children. There's a bunch of, Republicans who have been outed as like pedophiles. There was that recent guy, the guy who like literally funded the Sound of Freedom, who literally got exposed for being like I believe it was like a child trafficker, or like he was definitely like a pedophile and would like organize like pedophilic events.
We know why you fabricate wars. We know what you do with the alphabet.
I guess that was a shot at Ukraine or something. I don't know.
We know what you do to elections. We know why you're trying to stop Trump. We know that you're panicking. And you know that we know that...
It's like, what? I don't know. It's just weird. Again, this kind of feels like, I said this before, it feels like a very lipped up way to go about this. Like, I need to make it this big presentation where I have a bunch of stop frames and I just like close in on my face. Like, we're such a... I know Hassan tweeted something out recently that like, it's kind of funny how like liberal the Conservative Party have come. I don't know, it's just pretty funny. Oh yeah, it was in response to a guy who works on Tim Pool, funny enough. Going back to Tim Pool. Tim Pool's been showing up a lot on this video.
Listen, here we are again. They want us to worry about Trump. I'm telling you, we are the people. No matter what color your skin, no matter what shade, no matter what nationality. It's not about Trump, it's about us. And Trump said if they come after him, they're coming after us. That means they're coming after us after they indict him.
Yeah, they're coming after you because you don't pay your taxes, man. They're coming after you because you shouldn't be around children, probably. Like, I don't know. They're coming after you because of all the DUIs you got, more than likely. Like, that's what they're coming after you for. Like, again, I said this before, I believe in, like, the last video. If you haven't done anything wrong, like, anything that, like, wouldn't be considered, like, detestable, like, federal crime, then what do you have to worry about? Like, then, what honestly do you have to worry about? Do you honestly think that by just saying things, like, the government's gonna come after you? By, like, saying the election was stolen, they're gonna come after you? Like, they don't give a fuck, man. Like, they always complain about, oh, free speech, you can't say anything nowadays. But, like, dude, the only people who are saying you can't say that, or, like, arguing against you, they're not saying you can't say that. They're just arguing against you, that's saying, like, that's not true. Like, that's not hindering free speech. That's just being proven wrong.
Any person that believes in the U.S. Constitution, they're coming against. Anybody that says we the people, they're coming against. I'm not talking...
Well, then now they're coming after you because you said the three dirty words. We're the FBI now, huh?
The conservative. I'm talking about patriots. If you're a patriot, if you were born here in the United States of America, black, white, Chinese, Puerto Rican, I don't care. If you were born here...
Look at all that inclusivity.
Then you need to stand up and vote people in that will take back our country. The Bidens, this administration, and Obama tried to give it away. We need to fight.
To who?
Vote in.
To who exactly? Who were they trying to sell the United States to?
You guys have got to get out right now. Get the hats on.
Right
get
now.
the flags up. Get the yard signs out. Start showing up at these fraudulent court case deals and show your support for Donald Trump. Disclaimer, FBI, I'm not saying go down to the courthouse and overthrow it. You guys do that with your fake FBI agents, not us.
Oh, great. Oh, another guy who's saying that January 6th was an inside job, even though prominent right-wing people and people who, like, have names and faces have been arrested for this and, like, going to jail for it. Like, none of the, like, again, it also has to do with, like, Patriots Front, too. When they had, like, that huge march in Washington, D.C., and a lot of people were like, oh, those were feds. Like, those were feds. Like, dude, no, they are you. Those people are you. Like, they look like you, they talk like you, they act like you. They're not actors. Those are you. Just wait. I feel like in a couple years, like a year or two, the Republican Party are going to start saying that, like, what was it? Kyle Rittenhouse was a paid actor. And those, like, two guys who got shot were, like, you know, paid actors as well and aren't really dead. Like, I could definitely see that coming. Like, they just think everyone on the right is a paid actor. They even thought, like, Biden was an actor and that Trump was, like, the secret president all along. Like, that's something they used to say. Like, it's just, like, they have to convince themselves so much that everything that's right in front of them isn't real.
It's time to get out, wear these hats proud wherever you go.
Wear your hats,
stand up to
folks.
people.
Keep this in a safe place.
Hmm?
All right? It might get taken down, but if it doesn't, just know that 2024's election.
Okay, dude, you need to get stable with your fucking, like, your hand needs to get stable, alright? Too much shaking going on in this video.
Will not go as planned. There's so much going on, so much happening, and you see, with your own eyes, something's not right. Well, just trust me. What's coming next? I hope you have Xanax.
He made this off the Zans. That's why he's like, just so jittery. Oh, God, dude. Do your fucking homework. Oh, my God. Go do your fucking political mayhem. Dude, go do your fucking homework. Go play fucking Fortnite. Whatever you fucking tweens do. Don't get on fucking TikTok and talk about the election.
Well, it happened again. Donald Trump got indicted. So we're starting to see a trend here. Every time Hunter Biden faces some criminal charge, or there's some problem within the Biden family, bam, Donald Trump gets indicted. So weird. And I've talked about this before, but the only other countries that try and jail, imprison, or kill their opponents are third world countries, or dictatorships, or communist countries.
Dude, the only people that you should be worried about when it comes to like father-son dynamics like Joe and Hunter, the only father and son dynamics you should be worried about is your father and son dynamic, like where your fucking dad is. Because he's obviously not being a good one to you and not spending enough time with you if you're on fucking TikTok talking about politics when you should be doing your fucking homework.